Osimhen scoring that beautiful second goal to win that game for Nigerian Super Eagles, 2 goals to nil. Other results: England took over his English team for the first time. He won that game against Albania, 2 goals to nil. So first game for Tuchel for English national team. He won his game against Albania, 2 goals to nil. Welcome to Vote Sports on Vote FM. Today we are going to talk about international football throughout today. This week and next week is all international football in Afcon World Cup qualification, in uefa World Cup qualification. All of them happened yesterday, and some of the games are happening today. We are going to talk about them on the show. Again, Rangers International played yesterday in the MPFL and they lost yesterday. We are going to talk about that on the show too. Good morning, John. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Niger for life. My people, yesterday was an exciting encounter. We're live in the heart of Obiago to see the game with a couple of fans, and you can catch that video on YouTube.
Good morning, also.
Oh, good morning. This is a good day. It was a good game to see. We saw how the man has set up his team to play. Now we know what the step is going forward. Welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome to the show. Remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. We are live now on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. You can go there, drop your comments. We will be reading your comments live here in the studio. Okay, let's start with the Afcon. I'll give you the results of the Afcon that happened yesterday. I will talk about the Super Eagles, because the Super Eagles played yesterday and we won that game comfortably, 2 goals to nil. Okay, results for Afcon: Nigeria beating Rwanda 2 goals to nil. South Africa, we are in the same group with South Africa, beating Lesotho 2 goals to nil too. Botswana played, Algeria beating Botswana away from home 3 goals to 1. Guinea 0, Somalia 0. Congo 1, South Sudan 0. Burkina Faso 1. Djibouti is 1. Ethiopia 0, Egypt 2. Good result for Egypt. Burundi 0, Ivory Coast 1. Ghana trashing Chad 5 goals to nil. Then Niger 1, Morocco 2. That's all the results in Afcon. Okay, let's talk about the Super Eagles. Super Eagles played yesterday and won that game 2 goals to nil. It was a good game for the Super Eagles. Osimhen scoring second goal. 2 goals in that game. If you look at that second goal, fantastic goal, because he hustled that ball, going to the goalkeeper and chipped that ball over the goalkeeper to win that game for Nigeria, 2 goals to nil.
Yeah, good goal for Osimhen, good win for Nigeria. At the time yesterday, we were talking about this game and how it was going to play out. Like I said, that mentality has to be top notch. This is a game we need to come in with the mindset that we have to come here, we have to walk away with a win, and we have to do whatever it takes to get the win. And you could see the way the team was set up from the jump. Everybody was firing in terms of that first 30 minutes, because you want to seize the game and you want to make sure that you get your chances whenever you get them, that you take them. We took our chances, we got those 2 goals, but I feel like in the second half, things kind of petered down. We're now playing more conservative. And then talking about the attack, when Osimhen came off, our performance in the attack just died down. You saw the guy that came on for him in that position, passing the ball backwards, and then the manager obviously talking to an assistant to tell them that they should play the ball in the midfield, and rather than taking the ball back, because you don't want to give Rwandans an opportunity to get back into the game. Once you start playing those back passes, the guys in the defense start getting overwhelmed, because these guys are coming out to come and charge them and put fear in them. So we want to play attacking football, we want to hold on to the ball, we want to accelerate the ball forward. There are a couple of things we'll get into with regards to who showed up and who didn't show up, but on a whole, good result for Nigeria.
And also, if you look at that tactics, how do you make of that tactics? 3 at the back, 4 at the back. It was confusing at some point, but generally the tactics.
No, normally for people like us who don't know football, it will confuse us small. But for people like us, we sabi the game. We saw a 4-4-2 formation, and some of us saw something different, because you look at the team sheet, you're seeing an Osimhen and Ademola Lookman up front. You're seeing, okay, fine. What happens to Chukwueze? You're seeing Chukwueze and Moses Simon on the flanks, and just only 2 midfielders in Alex Iwobi and Wilfred in midfield. So, and the regular back four: Osayi Bright, Tris Ekong, Ola Aino, and Calvin Bassey. That's what we saw on paper. But when you look at the game as it progressed, when you look at the game, you see that Ola Aino was the third person in defense. Bright was always moving forward, was the third person to complete the front, the middle four, while the front three just remained the same. Chukwueze, Ademola Lookman and Victor Osimhen, and they hustle the ball. You saw Chukwueze passing the ball around, creating chances. You saw Osimhen creating those chances. When they lose the ball, you see a 5-man midfield, or perhaps to say a 6-man midfield, because mostly I always see 3 at the back. I didn't see 4 at the back at some point in that game. So I mostly saw a 5-man midfield or a 3-man defense, and I'm like, okay, fine, this is good enough. Pressure them. When you lose the ball, close down the midfield gap and be compact in that midfield. I saw them lose. You see where your players are winning area duels in midfield. Your players are winning the ground duels in midfield, and you say, okay, fine, this is what you need your defenders to be doing. In that game, I felt like Igbo would have been given a chance to roam and play the attacking football. But with him and with him and Ndidi in the midfield, it felt like he didn't have that luxury of space to play the beautiful free-flowing attacking football that he is used to.
Okay, if you look at our new coach, Schiller, if you look at the way he set up his team, do you think he's more attacking football or defensive football or balanced football? What do you think he's about to play with Nigerian?
I think it's too early to say.
If I see the way they play yesterday, I'll only say one person's name. Arne Slot. He's not defensive, he's not offensive, he's just playing balanced football. Get your goals and play, because from the subs he made, you will know that this man is just trying to conserve. Get the early goals, conserve to the end of the match. And that's not something you say. If you score in the first half, the second half won't be too beautiful. Then if you manage to concede in the first half, coming back into the game will be very, very, very hard for your teams.
Yeah, but then I have a problem with the way we set up, because in this encounter and in our precarious situation in that group, we'll get to the group later on, but we needed to score 4 yesterday. We needed to score more goals to ensure that even if we get tied on points, we can break even with goal difference. And we just scored 2 and lock up shop. I wasn't really too happy about it. Yes, you want to keep a clean sheet, but then if South Africa hadn't won yesterday, I'll be more happy with our chances. There is still a big chance that we win our next game. We could still not make it, because if Benin win or they get a draw, they move ahead by more points. So I'm not happy about just getting the 2 goals and settling for that. If we were doing this when we had more games, I would agree, but no.
Okay, that game ended 2 goals. Let's talk about Osimhen scoring those 2 goals. I think when it comes to that national team, that striker position, nobody's going to actually play apart from Osimhen. Nobody, even if you go now and score 50 goals, they said to score 100 goals in a season before the coach might start deciding if you are going to play ahead of Osimhen. But good game for him personally. I think I like the way he runs for the ball. If you look at it, in the second half, he was a little bit tired. But in the first half, he gave a whole lot of energy. I've scored 2 goals for Nigeria.
Yeah, you can't criticize Osimhen's performance, in the sense that Osimhen has been one of those key constant players in the setup that you can count on any day, anytime. We said it in terms of the previous manager before Eric Chell, is that the previous manager was just feeding off Osimhen's brilliance, because we didn't see anything tactically to show that guy had.
The previous manager, John.
He
so
left
is it
for
Pesero or
the previous manager? Thank you. So we couldn't see much from that man tactically from him and the way he set up his team. But the one constant you can always bank on is that when we call the Super Eagles together, our actor shows up, which is Osimhen. And he shows up as Captain Nigeria to come and deliver the team. And he delivered yesterday. I felt that if he will be playing that free roaming role, would have gotten more leverage from Osimhen on the night, but unfortunately it wasn't to be so. And you can't hold the new manager to it, because he's still moving around with his squad and his players. He still has to have a feel for what some certain people's strengths are. And so you give him credit for the good game, the 2 goals he got on the night. Could have gotten another one in the second half, but we are grateful for what we have.
We are grateful for what we have. We're scoring 2 goals. Boniface did not play at all in that game. And another striker was introduced. Is it because of lack of form with his club, or other players are better?
I wouldn't say other players are better. I think, and secondly, everything I'm going to say about Boniface right now is suggestive, because we really don't know the reasons why he wasn't started or why he wasn't brought on as a sub. I just can't speak to that. Personally, when we talk about him playing for Leverkusen, he hasn't also been getting a couple of games. So maybe for want of form, he wasn't started. But I would have loved to see me some Nathan Taylor start for Nigeria. Okay. Or at least come on as a sub.
What do you make of that?
Well, I feel like the coach is the man in charge. He knows what he's doing. He knows it's a friendly. For me, it's a World Cup qualifiers.
It's not a friendly
Calm
game.
down. It's a World Cup qualifiers, but it's also a friendly game.
It's not a friendly game.
This is the time you test all the players. You know who is going, who is not going.
In this crucial game,
We know who is.
What
See,
that, like,
it's
I
crucial
don't
for you.
understand.
That's one thing. If you believe it's crucial, you're under pressure. You're under pressure to perform. You're under pressure to.
you should be under pressure to
You're under
that's the
pressure.
Of
point.
course.
It's his first game for the Super Eagles. It's Eric's first game for the Super Eagles, so he's not under any pressure. If he doesn't qualify for the World Cup, nobody's sacking him. You can't give him 2 games. You can't give him two matches and expect to get an instant result in those 2 matches. If he doesn't qualify for the World Cup, it's not his fault. He only has 2 matches to coach the team. I just feel like this is the time he comes in, weighs the players he has. They do the experiment he wants to do with these 2 games.
He can't do that
Do the
experiment with
experiment
these
with-
2
he
games.
wants
He
to do
has
with
to
these
do
2.
it with qualifiers. That's why he
Let me-
fielded the teams he fielded
He
yesterday.
fielded the team, and when he was getting the win, he experimented with the rest of the other players because there's no way you tell me Yusuf will come and play right back for you and the game will be good. You have to field in the rest of the players to experiment, and I think this is just experimental purpose where he brought in Aruko Dele, Aruko Dare, and the rest of them to come and experiment the team and see what their performance level is for Super Eagles. So going into top competitions, you know who is going to be going with you and who is not going to be going with you. So I feel like it's an experiment team. It's not really, you can't come in the first game and say, okay, this is your starting 11, and that's what you ride until the end.
Nobody is saying you
But I'm
should
just-
come in and have your starting 11.
Mm.
We are saying come in,
Mm.
get the game, get the goals we need. And then when we have summer camp for the boys to come in and train for a week or 2, you move around the pieces on the board. When we've qualified for the World Cup and we have friendlies,
Why the
you
pressure
can
to
move
qualify
around
for,
the
why the
pieces.
pressure for World Cup one day for this man head? Why not the other Eguavoh head?
Bro, he's
Why
the
not the
one
other
that
person
accepted
head?
the job. If he didn't want the pressure, he shouldn't have accepted the job. It comes with the territory. This is football.
2 games cannot
football,
judge.
man.
Fine.
It's not about 2 games.
Wait
The most
now.
important thing is win the game, win well, and then qualify the team. Then you can have all the leverage you want to do because nobody coming into this game yesterday was going to field any other team than what he fielded. If he had fielded a team that is just coming out to come and touch around and then learn how to play for Super Eagles, he'd be out by this morning. Straight up.
Now, let me tell you the truth. I'll field a different team.
You're not the one handling the job.
Team because I can't have him with Simon play for midfield for me. I have only just 2 midfielders.
And that's why you're not the one handling the job.
What's wrong with what's it called, Joe Aribo on the bench? Why is he there? Now I have 3 midfielders that could start. I could play Yusuf or Bruno Yemechi in midfield or Rafael Onyedika in midfield, starting them. They start for their clubs. They play good football for their clubs. They progress with their clubs.
For all the talk about who you would have started,
the pressure cannot.
For all the talk about who you would have started is inconsequential because you are not the man on that.
That's what I'm saying now. Even that's what I'm saying. The pressure does not come with territory because you have only 2 games to show. If you now play the 2 games and you win by 5-0 and you get knocked out of the group stage in the Afcon, what happens then?
The pressure, no, the waiting happened to the guy who leave that seat before him. How many games he get? No, let's talk about it. How many games he get?
What if because you want to use first 2 games, George?
Let's not go there. How many games did he have? Yes or no? How many games?
If he wins blowout, he wins with the blowout 4-0, 5-0 qualifiers, and he gets into the competition proper, and the group stage is out. Afcon's group stage is out. World Cup group stage is out. Then what do you say about his tactics? You still call him the man up to the job?
They will sack him.
So you can't judge him with the first 2 games.
Nobody is judging him. We are saying that he does not have
any pressure. He has a time to build.
It's not about being under pressure. Pressure is 247. Go and wake any top manager around the world. Go and wake a manager that resumed job this morning. Pressure is there. Why? There is 2 types of pressure. The pressure coming from above on you and the pressure you put on yourself to deliver. You understand me? That's why you can't go into that game and go and start Jack Robinson off the bench and start a couple of bench the whole first 11 and go and play unknowns. You can't do that because your reputation is on the line. So you have to start the best team available to get you the result. That's what is done. Once his foot is in for the qualifiers in these 2 legs, we cannot see him move around, have that time. Look how many days has he had with the players in the first place that want him moving around the pieces. It's not done anywhere, man. Go do it.
I think the main thing that he was brought in is for him to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons he brought it. If you look at his press conference, that's what he said. He's going to try and qualify for the World Cup. But why I want to say it's possible, but if you look at the next World Cup, it's expanded. It's now 48 teams playing the World Cup. It's an expanded World Cup, and 9 African teams from 6 to 9. Now 3 more will join play the World Cup next season, so they have more chances to qualify. 6 of I think 5 of them first will play enter straight to them the playoffs. So Nigeria can still qualify as best.
True players.
Yeah, 2 players as best if you qualify as best second.
But
if you look at
you
the
have
table,
to do that by finishing in the second position.
and finish well.
That's the thing. That's why I'm saying that having just 2 goals in that encounter was not good enough, because it does not help us going forward. If we go to the next game and we get a win, and then Benin gets a win, it's a wrap.
If you look at the Nigeria is in Group C, South Africa has 10 points, Benin Republic has 8 points, Rwanda 7 points, Nigeria 4 to 6 points, Lesotho 5 points, and Zimbabwe are last on that table with 3 points. So Nigeria will play their next game on Tuesday to see. I think if we win and other result goes our way, we'll go up.
The only result if you go your way in Benin Republic, you're gonna pray for. Calculator FC, they said I tell you yesterday. Right now we don't calculator the press. Who go lose, who go drop points. We don't know how we go add our own points to them. But we just feel like in this encounter with this man coming into the job, we know the Spy Girls are hungry to go to the World Cup. But me, I've sealed my faith. If we didn't go for the World Cup, let's take that time to build for the next World Cup. Because what's the use of going to the World Cups now and being dunked in the first half?
Let us go and lose.
Not to just go mark attendance. I need to go World Cup, go mark attendance. I need to go play knockout football.
Other people, okay, how many African teams qualify for knockout football have ever qualified for knockout football? Count them. Most times.
Let's go.
Whenever they
Ghana.
go.
Morocco.
Now, whenever they
They
go.
give you
Wait,
names
now,
now.
5 of them. We was 5 before.
Yes.
Always 1 out of 5 that always qualify for the knockout stages. So let us go there and mark attendance. Let us be going. You see, Egypt
The mark attendance don't tire me.
okay, even Egypt that have not been going to the World Cup, they are angry. Everybody wants to go to the World Cup. Whether you are marking attendance or
Morocco did not go for one season, for one episode of for one edition of the World Cup. And the next time they went there, they built a team that could go to the knockout stages.
every team, whether they are going out, even China, even Saudi Arabia that goes
Of
to World
course.
Cup almost every day. Everybody wants to go to the World Cup.
There's nobody.
Do you know what it means that a player you play your whole career, you have not even tested the World Cup?
There is no one path to success, and you must not follow Morocco's path. You can be going and get knocked out in the group stages and keep improving. You don't need to miss out on the World Cup to say the last one we missed out for our market.
We didn't see improve anything.
Our market.
That's the point. we didn't go to World Cup for 2.
No,
we didn't go to 2 World Cups now, and we are still struggling to make the 3rd one.
Yes.
So it doesn't. If you have one coach that is building in quotes, I say this coach has been there for 5 years. He's been building the team. We will say, okay, we are building that we are not qualifying. They will keep changing coaches.
No building, no coach. You understand me?
Sense.
Even at it, let's just give this guy a little bit of leeway. But bro, no building, no coach.
Okay.
Even this guy itself, we don't know how far. It's fine.
Nigeria will play Zimbabwe on Tuesday to see where we're going to finish. Let's hope other result goes our way. Then I will see where we are going to finish in that particular group. If Nigeria beats Zimbabwe on Tuesday, that game is going to happen by 5 p.m. a game on Tuesday. So we'll see how we are going to fare and how we are going to win that game. Okay, let's talk about a few results that happened in Africa yesterday. Let's talk about South Africa winning Lesotho 2 goals to nil, because all of us are in the same group fighting to qualify, finish top in that group. South Africa are now top of that group with 10 points. Good game for them beating Lesotho, even though Lesotho is just a small team. But there is no small team in Africa these days.
Well said, well said. You know, I saw that game, and for a few seconds I was kind of angry. I was hoping that they would get a draw or something. And then it was a win. No doubt they are top of the group now. They could go into their next game, get a win and qualify. No problem, no beef with them. But, you know, to let these qualifiers get to this stage where we are pressing calculator again, there are some, you know, if you never have bare minimums or SOPs for whatever you do in life, you never make progress. You know, we should set an SOP for the NFF that we will never be back in calculator FC.
It's going to be tough.
We know, but if you do not hold yourself to higher standards, you get whatever life gives you. That's you settle for whatever is passed on to the day. But the last time I checked, life is not ready to pass a free pass into the World Cup. You have to grind for every result. You have to fight for every inch you take in life. And that is same even in this competition and where we are right now. there is a whole lot of work that needs to be done to ensure that not only we qualify, because qualifying now may even be a more disservice to us than even not qualifying, because it will gloss over the mistakes of the past and make it look as if it worked out. NFF know what they are doing, whereby the reverse is the case in this scenario. So we need to be careful about some of the standards we accept in our lives as people and as a footballing nation, because it's not acceptable. We still are within a shout of missing out on qualifying for this World Cup, and everything is going to hinge on what happens in that other game. So right now, looking at the goal difference is same, but we need to ensure that we get at least a 2-3 goal margin and a win, and then hope the chips fall where they may in the coming game.
Let's on Tuesday, first and second will play. The South Africa will play Benin. So if any result, I think draw is going to be best for us in that result. If Nigeria wins their goal and
draw how?
You play a draw, you're tied on points with Benin.
You're tied on points with Benin. Benin will be 9. Who will be 9? The best result is for South Africa to win them out.
Okay, it's true. First,
yes.
South Africa to win them out, but let's see what happens in that next game.
And inflict a heavy goal scoreline.
Let's talk about the next game. We're gonna beating Chad. Our neighbors beating Chad 5.
Yeah, that was an impressive one. That was an impressive one.
As we are talking Benin beating Chad, blah blah blah. This thing. Rwanda win, we still get problem. If Rwanda win their match, we still get problems. Since all of us all carry calculator come outside now. Rwanda has 7 points, we're still 6 points. So they're still ahead of us. If they win their next match, they go second on the table. Nigeria stays where they are. So it's just a matter of, even if we win, let's hope Rwanda and Benin Republic do us a merit and lose their next games. They get maybe Rwanda plays a draw in their next game, while Benin Republic loses, then we'll know that we are qualifying for sure. But I just feel like in this group, South Africa has done themselves proud. They've built a team.
No doubt.
They've built a team that could challenge anytime, any day. Look at the last time they went to the Afcon semi-finals or so, and they played well. They've been playing together. They've been playing together in the league. They've been playing together everywhere they go. And I feel like this is a team that can challenge anybody for any top competition at all. But going into this Ghanaian game now, my boys do well. You get Ghana game. I saw the match and I'm like, okay, this is what Nigeria should be doing. If you're playing against a lesser team, blow them out of the water. Score 5, score 3. Once they just blow, start to score goals for fun. Before they get what is happening to them, you've scored at least 3 goals. And you're now into the game. You're into the game proper now. Then maybe you can now start resting and moving pieces around. That's something we didn't do last night. Play the game from the whistle. We got the first goal and we waited till the last kick of the first half to get the second goal. In Ghana side, they didn't wait for those long term. They scored as early as possible. Went on to score more goals.
In the second minute, Semenyo with that fantastic goal. And then you also see this other guy for Athletic Club, Inaki Williams as well, getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, that guy, is they pay me, saying, brother, just go decide to play for Spain. By now, I'm here to support Ghana by now. When you're going to see two brothers, Inaki and with Nico, playing for one. I'm just happy with Semenyo playing.
Williams wanted to play for Spain. Is it that it wasn't called up, so he switched? He switched. The last World Cup, he switched to Ghana.
This is he's been in Ghanaian side. This is he played in Spain. He wanted to play for Spain.
It don't work.
The leagues, it's the same thing now. Normally, the way they do. If Ghana no call me, I go want play for Spain.
No, if Spain no call you,
no. If Ghana no call me, I go want play for Spain. If Spain no call me, I go can't wait for Ghana to come last. Because look at it, in the last World Cup, I think they won before that. The reserves or the age grade, the under 21s, he didn't play for any of them.
See, if
that was when he realized that
okay, fine. See, if Spain called him, Spain called him at early stage, there is no way you will be waiting for Ghana. Nobody will choose Ghana over Spain. I don't care who
Tomari. England, Canada, Abi. England called him for under 16, under 18 World Cup.
No, but talking about Africa.
I'm saying now, England called him for under 18 World Cups. Yes, he leave Canada. He play. You get under 23 World Cup. He say list choke. He no enter for English side. He go Canada go play.
See what I'm saying?
Now he's playing for the Canadian national team.
See what I'm saying?
Mason Greenwood are also. Now he's about to switch allegiance to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Also because they didn't call him.
That's
the point I'm trying to tell you.
For Inaki, he plays Spain. He wait for Ghana to call him. Ghana no call him. At last now whoever comes, I play for. Because I have the right to play for anybody I want to play for.
This guy started playing for Ghana just a couple of years ago.
And he has played 2 World Cup qualifiers.
He has been waiting for Spain. Some of these players that switched at the end. If you want to know players that want to play for their country, it's from the early stages.
Under 17, you see
No,
them.
even when they
Under 23, you
if
see
they,
them.
for example, if they called him, if they called him for the senior team and he plays one game, he cannot play for Ghana again. The problem that Spain had never called him for the senior team, so he was waiting. He didn't get a call. He had to switch the way Zaha did with Ivory Coast. He was waiting for that English call. Nobody called him. Kuma just played for Ivory Coast when he was in his late 20s. It happens to most of these players, but good game for them, good game for Ghana. They are top of their group with 12 points. Probably they are going to qualify for this World Cup. When it's gone to World Cup, they somehow qualify. I don't know how they do it, but they somehow qualify for that World Cup. Another game that happened in
the last time they knocked Nigeria out to qualify.
Yes, in the playoffs. Another game that maybe the last game we talk about in Africa is Ethiopia and and Egypt playing that game. Salah scored in the 31st minute, give them that lead, and that Zuzu scored in the 40th minute. All of them scored in the first half to win that game 2-0 against Ethiopia. Good results for Egypt. They are top of their group too.
Zizou's goal was a sight to view. It was a sight for sore eyes.
Probably
magic touch.
Why I'm talking about this, probably for the first time Salah will play the World Cup.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Yes.
That's why I'm interested in Salah playing that World Cup.
Even if they say they will play playoffs, Salah will still play the World Cup because they've been trying to. And we said it earlier. I think it was yesterday during the match we were talking about it, and we said it like, look at it. 2 years they've built. There was a time, and even on the show we said it. There's a time they played with home-based players, more of 75% of home-based players. There was a time they went with 60% of foreign-based players and 40% of home-based players. Now it's a proper mix. You get a proper mix with foreign-based players and home-based players in the team, trying to get the best out of every other person. And in this particular team now, they've gone on to win most of their matches. And in this one, they went on to play. At least I saw them play the first half and close out the game from the first whistle. You get Salah getting that goal early in the game, and what's it called? Zizou scoring in the 40th minute was one of those sites you say, okay, fine, this is where the game starts. And Ethiopia started growing their confidence back, trying to get back into the game, but there was no time or there was no room for them. Like John would say, if you don't start from the first whistle, you have a problem in the game. And I think that was what happened to Ethiopia in this one. They didn't start from the first whistle, and they were overwhelmed by the quality of players in the Egyptian side.
The very interesting thing about this Afcon, the expanded World Cup for 8 teams playing the World Cup. So more African teams will play in the World Cup. From 5, we'll move out to 9 teams, extra 4. So maybe we'll have a chance for an African team to reach maybe a quarter-final or a semi-final of the World Cup.
True talk, but let's not forget the knock-on effects of having an expanded World Cup. Look at the timeline for the World Cup. Look at how many days to the next season after the World Cup. Look at how many weeks players are also going to get off after the World Cup. These are the knock-on effects. You can't discredit them.
Okay, let's move back to Europe. Let's start with the World Cup qualifier in Europe that happened yesterday. Tuchel took over his first game as an English manager, and he won that game 2-0. Fantastic game. The excitement he was talking about, I saw it a little bit, but it was good game for them. First game for Lewis Kelly. He scored his first goal for England. He became the youngest scorer for England. He made his debut and scored in the 20th minute of that game. Harry Kane obviously scored again.
The usual suspect.
In the 77th minute of that game. Even though Albania is not really I won't call it a test.
They shoot them Shigo.
It's a test,
Albania shoot them Shigo.
but they defended well. Albania defended well, even though they conceded 2 goals. But all position, all shots on target, all total shots. England had everything in that game, which is obvious. They are playing at home against Albania. Everybody is expecting them to turn up. But good result for Tuchel in his first.
No doubt, good result for him. Prior to this game, he just seen the players for about 3 days before this encounter. So all the people who are, when you have a German managing an English side, and the history between these two countries in WW2, let's not get anybody triggered. You have to understand that there are players who are sitting one side on the fence, fans sitting one side on the fence with placard, with printing press, waiting to write the disastrous piece on Thomas Tuchel, and a lot of them are waiting to see him implement his style so that they can critique. But on the night we saw a very good game. One of the things I like about Thomas Tuchel managing, I wanted to say Chelsea now, but managing England, is that he's not afraid to break some of those silver ducks in terms of who he calls up to the national team. Before, it used to be a pecking order that if you're not playing for Manchester United, if you're not playing for Liverpool or Chelsea, you cannot get called up to the English side.
Southgate's
And
not first breaker move.
you know, wait, the difference is that under him is looking at current form. There are a lot of people who were brought up based on current form. Dan Burn, Lewis Kelly, a couple of them as well, and it's a good thing to see. Then talking about the tactics on the night, we're expecting to see three at the back. You know this. He went with his 4-2-3-1 formation, had people playing where they should be, but I think the biggest outliers in this game are the guys who went missing in the game. Guys who are missing in the game. Talking about somebody that plays at Villa right now. Okay. And another young man that plays at City who was obviously played out of position.
Okay, if you look at that game now, so what do you make of that tactics? England, Tuchel, do you think that this excitement is going to bring it? Because if you look at who he started at the midfield three, Jones, Rice, and Jude Bellingham, do you think that can bring? I don't think any English team can bring excitement to that team. I don't even know.
I disagree.
I don't even talk about when you talk about
I
excitement.
disagree.
Who will bring that excitement to this English team?
We have players.
Morgan Rogers coming, see stars, see passes, see teams.
Anthony Gordon came in as a sub. What are we saying?
We are you define excitement. We don't give you two names. We'll go back to Reece James.
Let me give you just one last
James
name.
came in the second half, and what happened? There was this flurry of attacking football. The Clarice cannot be subbed off. Jude Bellingham cannot be subbed off. These are the two players that we know for the English team. Yeah. As it stands now, cannot be subbed off. Harry Kane, maybe you put in Solanke, make it just rest. Let me say he's earned the right to be subbed off, but just make it just rest. Now, senior man in B, you take him off and put in a Solanke there. But Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice cannot be subbed off for the English team. That midfield will just fall, it will collapse instantly. And you saw that assist from Jude Bellingham. Ajeti has been a player that has always shocked anybody that comes into the Bucket team. He's always there to clear. But that pass from Jude Bellingham, that pass from Declan Rice, to and that touch of brilliance from my man Harry Kane just settles it. Like when you have an expert first touch, it's going to automatically delete the player that is coming to mark you. So I think that first touch from Harry Kane sent a clear-cut message that Ajeti was not up for the challenge, and it was beautifully slotted. So I just feel like if you're looking for excitement in the team, everybody in that side can produce.
If we want to go back to history and look at excitement in terms of English football. Excitement in terms of English football has always been a young Sterling or Walcott bearing down the flanks and creating something out of nothing.
Lampard, Gerrard from midfield scores sometimes.
You know, if we can just unshackle Bellingham, I loved when they played Bellingham yesterday behind the striker. If we can just unshackle that guy by giving him somebody credible behind to strengthen him, bro, Bellingham has all the excitement you need. And you know, when you pair these guys on his flanks, what are we talking about?
Jones for me, Curtis Jones for me came into that game, and I was expecting more from him. Though he did the work, but you can't have two box-to-box. You can't have three box-to-box midfielders. Who is holding the play? Who is holding up play? Who is your defensive midfielder? Because him and him and the Clarice had the same style of play.
Yes.
Now it forces Bellingham to be the hold-up player.
Yes.
And still comes forward to create.
And that takes away from the forward, because if he's up front, you create more.
He's coming back to pick the passes from the defense line, and he's going forward to create those chances while the other people just run around and get the tackles in. It becomes a problem for him. But I feel like Jones did a good job getting in on the build-up play at some point. While Declan Rice for me was just, he's perfect with what he does. He should make, when they say build from the back, make Declan Rice just go hide the face because he knows I be that one. But when they give him the pass in midfield, he can drive through and create the chances. So I feel like creating that chances for him and Jude Bellingham was just okay.
The player that I was expecting to play at least was supposed to, at least even if it's 5 minutes to play in that game, Eze did not play, Berechese did not play at all in that game. Yeah. Even Solanke did not play in that game. So many players, even Gui did not play in that game at all. But you introduced Henderson.
They already started what's it called now? Enrico Sa. When I said it yesterday, everybody was like, "When we just come in Liverpool?" Enrico Sa of Aston Villa. As he started alongside Dan Burn, I felt like, okay, fine, this is it.
That was a perfect pairing.
This is it. It was just a very wonderful pairing. I was thinking Dan Burn will go back to the left back position while Lewis Kelly will start from the bench. I was feeling like that, but when he came up with that song, I'm like, okay, fine, this is something nobody expects. This is something, if I didn't see it coming, then it means nobody expects it, because normally we know Dan Burn can play left back. And I was thinking, okay, Kyle Walker will stay on the bench while Livramento, who is on top form, starts this game, but he was on the bench as well. So
he should have started.
He should have started. So if Livramento was on the bench, Lewis Kelly starting at left back, Rhys James is on the bench, Kyle Walker is starting. It means you have the experience and the youth to go with the game. And that was what everybody was expecting for the what's called the English side yesterday. He started the youth and experience, a proper blend. And in the second half, with the subs he made, he brought in another experienced player who could hold up and gather midfield together in person of Jordan Anderson, and the youth as well.
One element missing in the England setup is that proper DM. There needs to be recruitment for that. That proper DM that can come in, because Curtis Jones, bro, I didn't like him playing alongside Declan. Both of them are too similar to play and hold that midfield. Bellingham has to drop back, and we don't want that.
When James came in, I think he did a DM job in that game, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah,
wasn't enough. So we have to look at them and say, let them scout for a proper DM and get somebody in already. Or maybe they can go back and bring in the Calvin Phillips to see if he can hustle for. No, I'm just saying, if they can bring him back to hustle for his shirt back, then fine.
Okay, James was introduced in just that 90th minute of that game, almost end of the game he was introduced. But we're going to see when other players are back from injury, especially Palmer and Saka, how he's going to field his team, because that's the problem. A lot of the star players are out injured. If all of them are back,
no doubt Saka would have benched Foden and started in that right position. He's more, because if you look at the way Tuchel plays, Tuchel doesn't play with wingers that invert. He wants a winger that is out and out on that flank, ready to run.
My point is actually is who is going to, because if those people comes in, like for example Saka and Palmer, two persons have to drop off.
Curtis Jones will drop off now. They'll bring somebody else into that midfield play.
I mean, they will not make the squad. If these two returns,
if the two return,
will not make the squad.
The two return, because there was a question mark on Rodgers starting, and they said he was on form for Aston Villa last season. I'm like, if form for Aston Villa last season, no buy any form, you no buy military form, you no buy anything form. It was just in the team that was doing well generally. So in this season, we've seen his numbers come up. You get now Jacob as well. We've not seen Jacob called up to the team. So there are plenty of people that are on form that are not on this team.
Of course.
So definitely, if Saka comes back, they will look at somewhere to take out numbers from. Probably, maybe if Marcus Rashford continues in this form, then fine, he will continue to play.
I think it will be Rashford and
if he doesn't, then
one
Curtis
other
Jones.
player in midfield will go. Yes, Curtis Jones might go. But for that DM position, I'm suggesting Adam Wharton.
Whether you can call anybody, but he's no right to play because he plays for Arsenal.
No,
so
he can play. There's not about him playing.
It's not about race for Arsenal. Like I said, you can't have two box-to-box midfielders.
Yes.
Somebody who has a proper holding midfielder and a proper DM, you get, is missing in the English setup. Adam Wharton is one of those players. Calvin Phillips is one of those players. They will be there like what's it called? They will be the Thomas Partey.
He wasn't even called up when all these injuries are happening. It
was called up last year.
What about
under Lee Castley? He was called up.
So what about Tuchel not calling up?
The thing is, Tuchel has his team now. Tuchel has counted the team he wants to go with, and he has made his choice. So okay, you're talking about Calvin Phillips.
No. I just think that anybody that was going to play is going to still be Rice.
No, they will not move. They will not move. We are not saying they should move Rice. That pivot beside Rice should be Adam
Someone that will
Wharton.
pair with Rice and be the holding player. While Rice is running back and forth, then they can Rice in front. I'm sorry, Jude Bellingham in front of them.
Okay, let's see what Tuchel is going to be doing with this English squad. At least Saka has started running now for Arsenal, so probably in 2-3 before they play the international game, not on Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday, they are going to play a game. Before the next international game, probably Saka will be available and Palmer too will be available. So we'll see who drops and how he's going to set up his team when these two big boys arrive back in camp. Okay, let's move on to South America games. Uruguay and Argentina played out yesterday, and Argentina win that game 1-0. It was a lovely game. It was an intense game. When it comes to South American games, they are always fighting. I don't know why. They're always fighting, trying to win games. Bragging rights. But Argentina win that game. Argentina have done very well in playing. When it comes to national team for the past how many years? 5-6 years. I think they have lost maybe 1 or 2 games throughout this period. They have played, even though that Messi was pulled out, he didn't play this game. But winning this game in South American League, 1-0. Good game for them.
Good game for them. You can't
even your man playing. What's his name that I like calling? That young boy. That used to play for Manchester United.
No. Pelistri.
Pelistri, yes.
Pelistri play. Baba they play. And they tried, because 1-0 lose against Argentina was not what I was expecting them to win that game, honestly. Not next year, I was expecting them to win that game or perhaps go forward. But even the players were expecting to be the magic players, the standout players for the Argentine side did not show up on the night. And look at the goals coming from what the name that people cannot pronounce. Amada, ability collab. Though Julian Alvarez with the assist of that one, good game for them. But I also like it was a good game in general to see. Good game, the fight, the hunger between these two players or these two teams to just get in there and get the results. That was just it for me.
John, Argentina obviously is going to qualify for the World Cup.
Obviously,
they are first in that table with 28 points. The second person is Ecuador, surprisingly have 22 points.
yeah, surprisingly for Ecuador, good game. Argentina straight up, it was never in doubt, and like let me say, it will never be in doubt. They are going to qualify. My hope is just that they can keep a few good players that can get into the team and do that, because whenever Messi is not available, whenever one other man in that team, I'm not going to call his name because of somebody beside me, whenever they are
Call his
not
name Di Maria. Angel.
whenever
Di
they are
Maria,
not,
Di Maria.
I'm not
Maria.
talking about Di Maria.
Who again you want call his name?
Yes.
Call his name now, make another good for the team.
Whenever Messi and Alvarez are not available, the team is in tatters.
If they call fish,
And that's why I say I don't want to call his name. But whenever these two guys are not
Yeah.
available, yes. So
if they call fish now, crayfish go follow this and say be
the
fish.
one yourself, no be water then they.
But all of them want the World Cup, so I think all of them need each other in
Of course.
winning that tournament.
That's what I'm saying. I said it
Introducing-
before.
Introducing him to the World Cup squad, it was a surprise intro.
Of
And
course.
after the second game he started, and because of him and few other players they was introduced, they won that World Cup for Messi and Argentina. But let's see what happens in this qualification. Argentina, even though they have lost 3 games in this qualifying games, but they are still stay first on that table with 28 points. Messi did not play, but Messi is still trying to nurse a knock. Everybody wants to play the World Cup in 2026. I think there is going to be their final
Clash, yes.
tournament. Portugal, Ronaldo wants to play in that World Cup. And maybe at 41 years next year. I think he's going to be 40 next year. He wants to play a big, probably the oldest player to start the World Cup next season with Portugal. But
What if he come winner?
he go hard though.
He go hard.
He go hard. Messi too wants to play the World
There
Cup.
needs to be solid recruitment on the Portugal side.
They need to play as a team. They
They
have a
need
squad.
to go and source a striker. Yes.
I'm just saying, what if they win it?
Because if they are going to win it, then Mbappe needs to drop into that free roaming role and somebody has to be up front.
Who is dropping?
That's the thing.
He will
Ronaldo
talk to
will
the
drop.
creator.
That's the
Is
thing.
Ronaldo-
he's
When
starting or he's going to be on the bench?
On the
There's
bench.
nobody. He's not roaming anywhere.
No,
He's running 40
conduit.
40
You call the player I create.
The only thing about the difference between Messi and Ronaldo is that because of the way Messi plays, he can play as a 10. So he doesn't need to do all the running. So he can be creative. Even when he's not scoring, he can create. Ronaldo does not create like Messi. So either he's scoring or he's on the bench.
But look at his record, he still has a remarkable amount of assists.
I know, but he's old. That's what I'm saying.
And he's old. I agree with you
He
that
cannot be
he's
roaming.
old. Yes,
Do you know what it means to roam?
he can play as an
Come and
SS.
create now.
He can play as an SS and play alongside somebody up
The
front.
thing is, even if he creates the chances, who is there to bury? Goncalo Ramos is not trustworthy.
That's why we came back to the same topic of they need to go and scout a proper nine.
Rafaelia is a joker. Fabio Conceição.
You can call them all the names you want to call them.
No, I'm just saying
They still need to go and scout a
players
proper
that
nine.
could come in and play in that position.
Okay.
You get the Conceição, the Trincaus,
Please, let's
the
not call
Reals,
those names.
everybody. They can come there and play, but when the opportunity falls, where are they?
The thing about national team is that somehow people need to gel. I don't know how Spain did it, but Spain they play. You can see that they can play as if they are playing like
When
a
you
club
play on the
side.
straight together.
You understand? You can play. You know about. I think it's about the couple of kind of players you have as a in a particular point in time. For example, they were lucky to have Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta playing in the same club, so it was easy to ease them in the national team. So if you look at other teams that won the World Cup, you see that all of them most times they play together for them to win the World Cup. But if you look at the Argentina team, they played as a team. You have to play as if all of you have been playing together for like 100 years for you to have a chance to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
But Portugal is still playing individual games.
That's
Ronaldo
where we have the problem.
Felix there. Everybody's playing 1-1. You cannot see
And
that
everybody's
team.
playing for self. Nobody wants to service the other person.
So that's the problem with this Portuguese team. But let's see if Ronaldo can win that World Cup. Like it's going to be his last dance with Portugal next year, and Messi too last dance with him. Let's see who wins that tournament again. The defending champions are the Argentines. They won that last World Cup.
It would be nice to see them do back to back.
Okay, but let's see if it's possible. Okay, let's take phone calls. The number to call is 0706 048 5-8, 5-3. Before after phone calls, people talk about the MPFA because Rangers International lost again yesterday. It was a bad loss for them after winning that presidential FA Cup on Tuesday. They went to Nasarawa and lost a game against Nasarawa 1-0 in that game. And that game was scored. They considered that goal in the 90th minute. It was heartbreaking for me. It was not that the draw was going to be enough. But they considered a penalty in the 90th, even though that everybody was talking about that penalty, but still they gave that penalty and they scored that
it's
penalty.
the same way they give them penalty against Eyimba last season. And they give them 9-minute penalty. It's painful to see a team go forward, create chances, get results,
Let's take this
and
call.
end up
let's
losing
take
the
this call
game.
before we continue with Rangers International. Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Factory on Good FM.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
Matthew, the country from Ogoja, across the state.
Okay, what is your contribution?
Yes, I want to disagree with the feminine gender in the mix. When she said she's not happy about the outcome of the Bible yesterday.
Okay.
No, for me, I am extremely excited.
Hello?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
about the sport, and I think it's been long where I watch Nigerian football. Yeah, without pressure. Yeah, yesterday I didn't watch that football without pressure. I went there confidently for the 3 points. I predicted 3-0, but it ended 2-0. Then it was a good outcome. And the way I saw the coach, I think it's a tactical coach. Yes. I described it as a former Chelsea coach, RWANDA. He was cutting to make sure that indeed his boys go through. In the first game, he came out with a good outcome. I think we should appreciate him and encourage him to do more.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please, John is a guy. You don't have a female in this city. John is a guy. Call us and tell us what you think.
It's funny how 90 minutes can make you think somebody is Andre Villas boy.
One game,
90 minutes. That game now that we call individual brilliance, so it's fine.
Let's take more calls. Yeah, hello, good morning. Good morning. Name and location, please.
Yeah. Please, I hope everybody is happy with the win of Nigeria yesterday.
Okay.
And we played with 4 attackers and 2 players. I hope there is no complaint now because when that man will use that information now and play, somebody will say, I saw it coming over. I know go free for that kind of stuff. And I will blast anybody who will say that kind of thing. Because now he has used 4 attackers.
and he scored only 2 goals.
4 attacking players, let me just say that way. It was only with Ndian. I saw that.
Even he will be an attacking player.
Huh?
Even he will be an attacking player, and he scored only 2 goals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying now, but they won the game.
Only 2 goals.
And everybody's saying we are happy. That's what I'm saying. Because when he's using that information and does not bring out results, it's when I'll be waiting for those Nigerians that will call and say, I saw it coming. Okay? I will tell you that you don't see anything coming. That's why I'm calling. I'm happy for Nigeria because it's only when things go wrong, where that's when somebody will wake up and say, I saw this coming. Meanwhile, he never saw anything coming. He has anything to say now to say. So I'm happy for Nigeria. I'm happy for the match.
Thank you very much.
He played 4.5 attackers with just 2 goals.
0706048585. Call us and tell us what your reaction about that win for Nigeria yesterday. Yeah, hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, name and location, please. Okay.
Okay, last caller. Maybe when you say the team perform well, people will say that they saw it coming. I saw it coming from Man U that they will not do well this year. For Nigerian match yesterday, you see when you see a good coach, you know. Yes. Not the position where they pack boss. Anything where you see the back post, the talent of attackers who you have, you don't know how to make use of them. Look at the final of the Nations Cup. A cup where Nigeria for win, do the back post. So look at how big kudos to Iwobi. People that are talking, bringing Iwobi down. I feel that they won the match yesterday. How the Baba played for yesterday. 90 minutes, not tired. I think we're not talking about that.
Okay.
We are not saying.
Well, the good players played well yesterday. Even one that scored goal, but all of them played well. Even if you that they bring in at the second half. They all played well.
Okay.
That's how we know it. That's how we know it's a good coach.
All right. Thank you so much.
Their coach is he's following the steps of Amuneke and Yasia. Yes. I tell them the way Amuneke is playing the way that man step is following. But the area of big problem for him is if we start listening for NFF to give him players to join the match.
Okay.
But apart from that, we'll be a good coach.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, he's a good coach and he will perform well. I can think he's a good coach and he will perform well. Okay, let's see if he's going to do well and perform well for the Super Eagles. Okay, let's take one more call before we talk about Rangers International. Yeah, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, guys. This is Alex calling you.
Okay, Alex.
Good morning.
Good morning. What is your contribution?
I don't know. I guess I will change one too. Because I can remember vividly, even before this coach, before NFF signed this coach, he was clamoring that they should make communicate this, communicate that. Now all of a sudden, he's now saying that this coach is a fantastic coach. Let me tell you, when this coach signed him to as a Nigerian coach, so many people they agree with this. I find that a single person that agreed that this one should be a Super Eagles coach. I'm telling you, but to me, first of all, I'm astonished that so many people are quite, aligning with whatever he's doing now. Just like the coach has said. I just hope that Nigeria will come outside and say that he's not good. We will better support him now. Things are going well. No one will play our second match at home now. Maybe we probably withdraw. Then all the Nigerians will come on top of you be like they let who's on top of this man. Let it go be so. For me, I know what I'm saying. And I don't know if you talk about France losing and the way that they just lost notoriously.
We talked about it yesterday.
Against Croatia.
We talked about it yesterday. Yeah,
we talked about it yesterday.
We talked about it yesterday.
They tell my
All right. Thank you very
We
much.
talked about it yesterday. Not only you. They break plenty people heart.
Okay, let's talk about Rangers. Rangers losing that game against Nasarawa. That goal was scored by Balogun in a penalty in the 90th minute. Bad result for Rangers International.
Yeah, bad results, man. I'm stoked about this guy that was talking about his tickets. It reminded me of the guy we spoke to yesterday that said he sold his land to play against
Nigeria draw.
Hey!
To play Nigeria draw. I saw his father's land. Like, bro, are you for real? Like you sell your father's land to play Nigeria draw, and this was what this guy is saying as well for France. But come on now, how would you? Everybody supporting the team to qualify for the World Cup, and you're praying for them to play.
They say when everybody is sitting, stand up.
The thing is, the away record for Nigeria this season has been poor. So you ride on that
wave.
So you have to ride on that wave. But the wave didn't go as it was supposed to. But this Rangers game now.
Let's take this final call before. Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and location, please.
Yeah, this is but I'm calling from Enugu.
Okay, what's your contribution?
We're not talking about money. Somebody mentioned money. Without money, there's no football in this world. I love money.
Yes.
I think we are proud of it.
Okay.
That's the envy. Kind of jealousy. I think I know what my
Nigeria, because that money don't enter your mouth now. Nigeria.
You don't talk about money, what else will we talking about? I mean, so I'm grateful to God for the way we played. And I hope we will go on like that.
Okay.
We will qualify.
All right, thank you.
Thank
you very much. Let's hope we qualify. Rangers International lost that game 1-0 at Nasarawa yesterday. That game and the 90 minutes for Balogun for Nasarawa.
It's unacceptable.
Ended that game 1-0. And they lost that game. Other games happening today in Nigeria NPFL. Plateau United will play Kano Pillars today. Lobby Stars will play Remo Stars. Okay, that game has been postponed. Bendel Insurance will play Sunshine Stars. Katsina United will play Academy Warriors tomorrow. Rivers United will play Ikorodu City. Kwara United versus Akwa United. Heartland of Owerri will play Abia Warriors. Enyimba will play Bayelsa United. And Shooting Stars will play Niger Tornado. So obviously, Rangers Nation is not going to win this league. Whether results go on other ways or not, we cannot win this league again. But let's see what happens with them if they are going to qualify for the Continentals, because we need them to qualify. Even if it's CAF Confederation Cup, let them go and qualify for us, and so that they can play Continentals. But as far as they don't knock them out in that playoff stage, that's the point. You don't go there and just get knocked out in the first round of that game. It doesn't make sense. But let's see what Rangers will do. As for Nigeria, we won that game 2-0. Osimhen scoring those 2 goals. On Tuesday, we play again, and let's see if we're going to get all 3 points. If result goes other ways in other group games, probably have a better shot to qualify for the World Cup. My name is Godwin, and have a lovely weekend. And let's sit down today and enjoy football. It's International Week this week, and even next week, International Football. Once next weekend comes, we'll go back to club football again. Thank you for joining us on today's show. Thank you for all those that join us on YouTube. Remember, guys, we are live on YouTube Monday to Saturday on YouTube at Volt FM Sports. Have a wonderful weekend.
Enugu, and welcome to Volt 104.3 FM, where music meets the voltage. Take a break and enjoy the show.
Now Alex Iwobi gets the ball out to the left-hand side. The delivery comes in. Oh, that's a great goal!
Entertainment. News and politics.
Enugu State Governor has sent us
This is your radio.
Gospel.
and let them have dominion. The kingdom of God is within people.
Odinibo.
Awesome programs exclusively on
Volt 104.3 FM.